Remember about 4 crises ago when that train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio? Well, it took Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg nearly 3 weeks to visit that site, and as for Joe Biden, he hasn't gotten around to it yet. But as for the people of East Palestine, Ohio, well, they are still suffering, and many in silence, because just as I feared would happen, as soon as the outrage moved on to something else Joe and co effed up, the people of East Palestine will be largely forgotten by us all. But not me. And while this shocking and concerning headline may have slipped through the cracks, I want to bring it to the surface because the people of that town deserve it. 7 of the 15 CDC government investigators who went to East Palestine have fallen ill with the same symptoms the government at large scoffed off when the residents of that town sounded the alarm. Sore throats, headaches, coughing, nausea, and more. Yeah, no duh, the place is toxic and the people there have been abandoned. These poor people are stuck breathing and drinking vinyl chloride, which is an explosive and cancer-causing substance, but for some reason, no one seems to care. This is outrageous. These CDC workers, they get to leave, but what about the residents of East Palestine? They're stuck there, and many can't afford to just pick up and leave. What the hell are they supposed to do? Hope for the best? I know the headlines have all moved to Trump and the indictment and everything else, but this stuff still matters. These people in East Palestine are the definition of the forgotten Americans, and it's no wonder they support Trump. At least he went. But as for Joe, he just can't make the time. What happened in East Palestine is bigger than East Palestine because it's a reminder of what's at stake in that 2024 election. Whether it's Trump or DeSantis, we sure as hell know it won't be Joe or Kamala or Pete that shines a light on the forgotten American. But as someone who grew up in one of those flyover states, I can tell you this. Our votes matter because they catapulted Trump into office in 2016. So whoever our nominee ends up being, I'll say, remember the forgotten men and women. And may God be with the people of East Palestine because we sure know the government isn't. Shoot, it's been quite the week, hasn't it? For the first time in U.S. history, a former and maybe future president has been indicted and arraigned. Now, I'm a law and order type gal, so if Donald Trump really did something criminal, I'd plug my nose, swallow my mega pride, and let the justice system go to work. But that's not the case here, because the case here is a bunch of phony baloney BS, and Alvin Bragg knows it. He just doesn't care because this is his moment to be somebody. But you should care because he's wasted your tax dollars to do it. And if you don't like Trump, you should still be pissed because all this sham indictment has done is bolster Trump. Alvin Bragg is, realistically, Trump's biggest fundraiser. How he explains this to New Yorkers is beyond me, but let me guess, y'all will still vote for Bragg and Democrats like Bragg because you don't mind living in a lawless hellhole so long as you have access to unfettered abortions and drag shows for kiddos. And that goes for my next losers of the week, Chicago voters. If you'll recall, in February, Chicago voters ditched Beetlejuice Lightfoot in the primary, and it really looked like y'all over there in Chirac were starting to wake up. But I guess not, because y'all elected a new mayor who is even worse. Brandon Johnson, who was supported by the teachers union, defeated fellow but not psycho Democrat Paul Vallas, who was supported by the police union. Brandon Johnson has called for removing law enforcement, has defended looters as racial justice warriors, and I don't know, something tells me he's not going to make Chicago more safe. But if he doesn't do it for you, maybe next go-around you can just elect Jussie Smollett and get it over with, Chicago. Good luck and let's go, Brandon. But speaking of Brandon's, my next loser of the week is Brandon's wife, Jill. Turns out pretty much no one likes her, including Angel Reese of LSU women's basketball.
The damage is
I
done.
don't accept I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't accept the apology. Because of, you said what you
Jill
said.
Biden.
Yeah.
First
the,
lady.
the wife,
First lady.
yeah.
You said what
First
you
lady.
said and you meant what you
I said what I said, and like, you can't go back on certain things that you say. I mean, you felt like they should have came because of sportsmanship, right? They can have that spot. Like, we'll go to the Obamas. We'll see. I'm gonna see Michelle. I'm gonna see Barack.
Hold on. So did you guys speak to the first lady?
No, apparently she was supposed to come to our locker room before the game, but we said no.
Before the game?
Yeah, she was supposed to come to our locker room and go to Iowa's locker room. I don't know if she talked to them. I don't know if she did, but we said we didn't want to. We didn't want her coming to the locker room.
Dang, that's cold as ice right there, but yet totally understandable, honestly. I don't think anyone likes Jill except for Kamala's husband, but that's a story for another day. And those are my losers of the week.